Welcome back, everybody. We don't know what we're going to do today, but at the moment we're going to take the washer and dryer, move them back, and we're going to sheetrock this wall here. And Roy's daughter Penny's coming over to do laundry, so there's a chance we might not have time to sheetrock this wall and that wall, and we'll have to come up with something different. But for now, that's what we're going to do, is pull them out and sheetrock that back wall. So as you can see, we're clearing the room out, clearing the tops of the washer and dryer off, and we're going to pull them out even though his daughter shows up before we actually get started. We move the dryer out into the kitchen because the dryer is not needed right away, and this way the washing machine, we can have it moved over to one side and let it do its thing while we're sheetrocking the back wall and the side wall. And Roy's vacuuming up just the dust and debris and whatnot, and I move the camera into the, we'll call it, new bathroom to look through the 2x4s, because moving that sheetrock around and the clothes and everything else, the camera's just getting in the way. So the first thing we got to do is we have to insulate that wall, and Roy's going to put some spray foam in all the holes where the wires and plumbing came up through the floor. That way you don't have that cold air flowing up into your walls during the winter time. So now that his daughter showed up, we're going to have to hook that washing machine back up, which is no big deal really. Kind of a pain, but still no big deal. Because the dining room is just full of stuff now, we bring the sheet into the laundry room here and we cut it to size and cut all of our electric box holes, washing machine plug-in holes, cut everything in this room. It makes it so much easier than trying to fight the full room in the dining room. So we have a little bit of adjustment we need to do on this piece of sheetrock. You notice that washing machine, everything's vibrating around. That washing machine, every time it goes in the spin, it just goes wacko. Of course, this here washer, believe it or not, is, I think 25 years old, I do believe Roy said. So let's see how many of you have a washing machine that'll actually last that long anymore. So anyway, I'm looking for smaller pieces that we can trim around the window with the sheetrock. Roy's busy screwing this one in, so that way it'll be done. We're not going to worry about plastering or anything at all. We're just looking at insulating and putting some sheetrock up so one day it can be plastered and not have to worry about piecing everything back together again like we're doing right now. You gotta remember, you see all these pieces we're putting up, and like they always say, your mudder is your best friend when it comes to doing sheetrock. So as you can see, we did get that sheet set in there. That's a full 8-foot sheet, which happens to be perfect size for this wall here. And with no plugins on this wall or anything else, it's easy to just pop that thing up and start screwing it in. Roy is mainly screwing the sheetrock in right where the washer and dryer sit, so he'll still have to come back and finish screwing the wall back together. We have the dryer in there now, so now she can use the dryer, and we're going to push everything to the side so we can sheetrock the other side next to the washer. So we bring in this next sheet and we have it turned so that way we can do our measurement and knock out the pieces we need to knock out. We have a couple plugs on this wall, and including the water, and that way we can just slide it right into place. Here you have a choice of using a razor blade, or they do have what I do believe they call it a keyhole saw, that you can just pop right through that sheetrock and cut it out that way. It makes it a little rough on one side, but whatever your preference is, go for it. And as you can see, we're using the pencil and marking the lines down. It just makes it easier to hit the 2x4 for sure instead of winging it. And we don't do this all the time, so it's not like our eyes are trained to know exactly where that 2x4 is. Like I say, it's all about getting her done. So this is the last sheet we're going to put into this room. Like I say, the main thing was getting insulation in there, and we don't necessarily want to put any more sheetrock in until we rip out some more of the finished floor and put a new sheet of I'm not sure, the hardboard, chipboard, 3/4 inch board, whatever you want to call it, just to make sure all the floor is nice and even, and which we want to put that across the whole top of the floors in this room and the hallway. So now in this room we got to move everything out of the way. Like I said, I really want to come in here, but we have to get it done. You see that hole up on the ceiling to the left or the right side of that light? That should have been covered a long time ago. We're finally getting around to doing it. I'm going to put up some insulation in there, and I'm going to cut it. I have to run a 2x4 in there too, because for some reason there's no 2x4 against that black colored wall. And so it's just jury rigged in there to make it so you have something to screw the sheetrock to. Not a heart attack, whatever. And I'll get that sheetrock piece in there, and this way all of our hot air isn't flowing up into there. Even though Roy's had a curtain over the doorway coming into this room, it still had a good flow. And putting that insulation up there, I can feel the air vents working, because you can feel the cold air rushing by and going up to the attic space. So I'm finishing up the insulation in here and getting it right above those doors there, and that's all we're going to do today. So it ended up actually being a short day, which realistically it almost is like a blessing. Okay, it was a short day over at Roy's. All we did is put up the sheetrock and a little bit of insulation, and we couldn't finish the sheetrock because we still have some more of the floor to pull out, and we'd rather have that in before we put the sheetrock in the rest of the way. Although at the moment, if Roy wanted to, he can mud it what's there already, but it's not important right now. The main thing was getting the sheetrock up and the insulation, because like I say, winter's upon us. So anyway, it was a bit noisy over there, is why I'm at home saying goodbye to you guys, and we shall see you next time. So thanks for coming by, and don't forget to subscribe here. Thanks a lot. Bye.